As the Miami Heat enter the NBA offseason, should Pat Riley step down? It's something that I've talked a lot about over the past year and a half, but ESPN's Stephen A. Smith went off on Pat Riley earlier this week after the Heat were eliminated by the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I wanted to share what he had to say and then react and kind of look at what a succession plan could look like inside the Miami Heat organization. But, as I mentioned, Stephen A. Smith's words on Riley were not kind. He said, Pat Riley, it's time. You have to get people to want to come to Miami, and he's not that guy anymore. Eric Spoelstra needs to be the president of basketball operations for the Miami Heat. And Stephen A. Smith, you can talk a lot about his antics, his entertainment, does he actually watch the games? But I'll tell you this, for once, I do agree with Stephen A. Smith. I have talked a lot about Riley getting pushed to the side or being forced to step down over the last year, and I have named Eric Spoelstra as the Aaron waiting, if you will, to his role for a long time. Just when you look at everything that has transpired over the last 4 to 5 years in the Heat's organization, all of everything that has gone negatively can be put back on Riley. And yeah, there's been good things as well, but to me, he's done an excellent job. He has transformed the Heat, brought 3 titles to this organization. But he's also 80 years old, and it's just time to call it and hang it up. No offense to him, but he wasn't even the one who got Jimmy Butler. Like, Dwayne Wade was the one who convinced Jimmy that he should go to the Heat when they were teammates in Chicago. So, yeah, Riley made it happen in the sign-and trade, but Jimmy got convinced by Dwayne Wade. So, like, there's a lot, and we'll talk about it on today's show. But make sure you do follow me over on X/Twitter. I got 1,700 followers. We'll continue to go over there like we do on the channel. I talk Miami Heat basketball every day, and when news, rumors drops, I tweet about it. So go give me a follow at Nic_Rohloff. But when looking at Pat Riley, could he retire? Well, retire, step down, whatever you want to say. He's 80 years old. He turned 80 in March. And no matter what you think about health and just overall, like, him still being the head of a basketball organization at 80 years old is a bit ridiculous, to be honest. He's obviously been with Miami for damn near 30 years. 1995, he became president in 2008, just a couple of years after they won the title, first in organization history, and then Eric Spoelstra became head coach relatively soon after. So you could argue that with him being up there in age, the Lakers giving him a statue outside the Crypto Center, or whatever it's called nowadays, maybe it is time for Riley to hang it up. And he hasn't had the best 4 years, if we're going to be honest. Like, ever since the 2020s have started, the Jimmy Butler debacle occurred. And boy, was that a debacle this past season. I think it's one of the most embarrassing things that has ever happened to the Heat organization. Like, the public, drama, it was just terrible. That's not how the Heat like to operate, and it was a tough watch. The Terry Rozier trade is arguably the worst move in the NBA over the last 3 seasons. That's not just Miami. I'm talking NBA. This guy's owed $26 million this season, and he's not even playable. You didn't land Damian Lillard after trying to land him. You swung and missed on him in 2023 offseason. You swung and missed on Donovan Mitchell in the 2022 offseason when he was traded from Utah to Cleveland. You swung on missing KD. And you could really look to that 22 offseason as the one that really killed you because you held on and tried to get KD from Brooklyn. He ultimately doesn't even get traded until the deadline to Phoenix. And because you held out and tried to get Durant, it led you to miss out on Mitchell. And then obviously over the last 4 seasons when Jimmy Butler was playing at an elite level, you had Bam Adebayo, you made 2 NBA Finals in 5 seasons, you failed to capitalize. You didn't get that third guy to get your team over the hump. Pat Riley should be blamed for that. And as we continue to talk about this offseason and the future of the Heat might be better off without Pat Riley. What say you, folks? Do you want Pat Riley to step down? Today's pinned comment, so you get hit with a YouTube ad break. Scroll down, let it play. Type Y for yes or type N for no. I want Pat Riley to retire. Bad. And I don't want this to be taken as disrespectful. I am grateful for the sustained success he has brought to this organization since the mid-2000s. Really ever since they drafted Dwayne Wade in 2003. They've been a competitive basketball team. They've won 3 championships, been to 3 other NBA finals. Like, they've been one of the more premier and pristine organizations in basketball over the last 20 years. There's no debating that. But I think it's also safe to say that we're kind of stuck in the mud. And it's been that way since Riley has not been aggressive enough to get a guy. They hug on the prospects too much. They haven't been able to capitalize when they needed to capitalize. And as we enter a new era of Heat basketball, post Jimmy Butler, I think someone else should be calling the shots here since Riley is very close to retirement. Like, is he going to be here for 3 or 4 more years? I don't know. So why not just do it now in a pretty pivotal offseason for Miami? And could Erik Spoelstra be the man to replace him as Heat president? I wouldn't hate Spo. We saw Boston do it. And I'm not going to say that it's a foolproof 100% success rate, but when Brad Stevens couldn't cut it out and couldn't get to that next step as Celtics head coach, they got rid of Danny Ainge and they moved him to the front office. He could be argued as one of the best front office people in the NBA over the last 3-4 years. Yeah, obviously, you'll have Presti from OKC up there. You'll have some other guys, but Stevens traded for Derek White, traded for Kristaps Porzingis, knew when it was time to move on from Marcus Smart. Like, he has made really good moves for Boston, and maybe if you move Spo to president, the front office, you can try to capitalize on that type of thinking. The truth is, we need fresh ideas. The way it is run in the NBA, or at least the Heat are, it's just not good enough right now. I'm being serious. It's not. And we need a new idea. And the Heat don't have a lot of good relationships. Like, many front office people in the NBA do not like Pat Riley. And it makes it difficult to make deals because they are not trying to do you any favors and Pat Riley any favors. You get Erik Spoelstra in that front office, who's one of the most well-respected people in the entire NBA, coaching, player, front office, doesn't matter. Spo is that respected. I think it would be easier for him to negotiate through agents, through contracts, through trades with other front offices. That's why I think he could be a really good replacement for Pat Riley. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel because we are going to still bring you daily content on the Heat this offseason. News, rumors, more. Hit that sub button right now to join the largest growing Heat YouTube channel there is. So obviously I voiced my opinion on Riley, on Spo being the heir in waiting, if you will. I think there are 2 other replacements that should be discussed if Pat Riley ultimately stepped down. And we did a video about Riley potentially retiring back in December. And if you watch that video, you might know who the 2 people I'm going to refer to are. We'll start with Adam Simon, who currently is the vice president, basketball operations / assistant general manager. He has been in the Heat organization since he was a young man. He is in his 29th season with the Heat. But what he does is that he is the leader in the NBA draft scouting selection process for Miami. Obviously, Spo, Riley, and other front office people are in there, but Simon leads this. That's why when the Heat make draft picks, when they interview someone from the front office every night, when they make picks, it's Adam Simon. He's had a large role in the Heat's drafting success over the last decade. That includes Tyler Hero at the 13th pick, Bam Adebayo at the 14th pick, Jovic at 27, Ware at 15, Larson at 44, Hawkes at 18. Like, he is an excellent talent evaluator when it comes to the NBA draft. The only miss that I can confidently say the Heat have had over the past 8 to 9 years, let's not include Justice Winslow over Devin Booker in 2015, is the picking of Precious Achiuwa over Tyrese Maxey. But the Heat desperately needed a big man to back up Adebayo. So I understand to a degree why they went that route, although it is disappointing in hindsight. Adam Simon, I don't know how he would do in free agency, in the trade market, but he can identify talent through the draft really, really well. Another name is Andy Elisburg. This is a person that should be well known among Heat fans because he is the executive vice president, basketball operations / general manager for the Heat. He is the right-hand man for Pat Riley. You will rarely ever see Pat Riley without Andy Elisburg at a Heat game or inside the front office. And he has been a Heat lifer. Elisburg has been inside the Heat's organization since the inaugural season in the 80s. He specializes in salary cap maneuvering, talent acquisition, aka free agency, trades, and he is very involved in the day-to-day business of basketball operations. If you remember, there's a story out there that when negotiating with Golden State about the Jimmy Butler trade this past deadline, Elisburg was the person who was very adamant about receiving this year's Golden State Warriors draft pick. And originally, they wanted to make it top 14 protected. So if they missed the playoffs, they would keep that selection. Elisburg was very adamant about being top 10. Now, obviously, the Warriors made the playoffs anyway, so that point was moot. But Elisburg is involved in these negotiations alongside Pat Riley. But I don't know if I'm in on Andy Elisburg being Riley's replacement. Now, maybe it has been promised to him that he will be because Mickey Arison and the Heat front office want to keep it in the family, as they always like to. But to me, he works so closely to Pat Riley. Would he ever have a different opinion, a different thought process, a different way of directing the Heat than Pat Riley? It seems like it would just be more of the same for Miami. Maybe I'm wrong, but that is my skepticism of making Andy Elisburg the president of basketball operations if Pat Riley stepped down. I would love to keep Elisburg inside the organization if they went with Simon or went with Spo getting the upgrade, because he is really, really good at maneuvering the salary cap and understands trade negotiations in the NBA. But I would not make him the sole head decision maker in replacing Pat Riley. But let me know, if you wanted to replace Pat Riley, who would it be? I mentioned Spo, Adam Simon, Andy Elisburg. Is there a different person inside the front office, outside the organization? I don't think Miami would go outside the organization, but you can let me know your thoughts down below. And I'll be honest, folks, I don't think he steps down. I would like it. I would welcome it. I would appreciate Pat Riley, and if he stepped down, we would go live on the channel breaking that all down, by the way. I just don't see it happening. I don't know when he's going to call it, but it just doesn't feel now. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm wrong. I just imagine Riley is going to be here for one or two more seasons. I do. I thought this could have been his swan song this past year since him and Jimmy Butler's timeline kind of lined up. But since he didn't extend Jimmy, now I don't really know when the timelines match up for Miami. So we'll see when he ultimately does call it a career. And when he does, whether it's this year, next year, the year after, we'll be here breaking it all down here at the Heat Report. So hit that sub button and join us today for daily Heat content.